Hello. As we mentioned last time, in JavaScript we have many types, but some of them are number type and a string type. So everything inside of quotation marks is a string, and a number just looks a number without any quotation marks. Today I'm going to show you a JavaScript console so that we can try out a little bit of the code that we wrote. So let's do the right click with the mouse and choose Inspect, and the whole world will open to us. So these are the tools for development, but today we will show you the console. So let's click here. If we just type something, we can delete it with this button, Clear Console, and again our console is completely empty. So let's test our code. If we type 1 plus 1, we get a 2. 0.1 plus 0.3 gives 0.4. 8 minus 1, a 7. 10 times 2, 20. So maybe some more. 35 divided by 5. And if we do a little bit of more complex mathematics with brackets, 1 plus 3 in brackets times 2, so we have a 4 times 2, we get an 8. So this works exactly like we expected. But what about the strings? Strings are a little bit special. So if we do a plus between the strings, JavaScript creates a new string that just glues first to the second and to the third. So if we want to create a sentence, we have to have in mind that JavaScript would just glue one to another, so we have to make a space inside of the string so that we can get the space in the new string. Okay, let's go and check a little bit about comparisons. As you know, in JavaScript, we can also compare values. So we can ask with 3 equal signs, is 1 equal to 1? And the result is true. So with comparisons, the answer is always Boolean or true or false. So let's try another one. Is 2 equal to? The answer is true. What about 2 equal 1? False. We can also check if numbers, let's first try actually the strings. We can check if left side is equal to the right side. So is a string Brac equal to Brac? Yes, the answer is true. We can also create a variable, enemy. We assign the value crat, so enemy is crat. Let's clear the console so that we have a fresh view. So let's check again, enemy, value is crat. So let's check if enemy is equal to crat, and the answer is true. Okay, what about enemy and Brac? False, because our variable enemy equals crat. So as I said before, we can also check if numbers are bigger or smaller. We cannot do that with strings. With strings we can just check if it's equal, but with numbers we can also check if it's smaller, bigger, smaller, or equal. And this is how it works. Okay, now let's take a look again at our more complex part of the code. We use that to count the diamonds, and we will try to check how this works inside of the console so that you see exactly what happens in each round of a loop. So we set a variable count to a 0. And then we will check if the count is less than 10. And until it's less than 10, we will execute the code that is inside of the curly braces. And this is count equals count plus 1. So if we start with a 0, we check, is the 0 smaller than 10? The answer is yes. So we can enter the loop and we say count is 0 plus 1. So the new value is 1. And then we check, is 1 less than 10? Yes. So we can again execute the code and say count is 1 plus 1. So the new value is 2. And we go out again and check the condition, is the count less than 10? So it's 2 less than 10. It's true. So we do 2 equals 2 plus 1. So now we have a 3. And so on. 3 is less than 10. So 3 plus 1 is a new value of the count. And we continue this until the count is less than 10. When the count is 10, we check, is 10 less than 10? The answer is no. So the last value that this code will return is gonna be a 10. So let's check it out. If we copy and paste this in the console, click enter, we get a 10 because this was the last value. 10 is less than 10, the answer is no, so we don't continue with the code, so the last thing that gets returned is a 10. But we want to see now the whole steps, so let's uncomment this line, console log count, and this will print us the current count. This all happens very fast, so we will just get all the numbers printed out, but this is how quickly the loop gets executed. So let's clear the console, copy, and check. We expect to get all the numbers printed out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the code stops. So this is how it works.